like each other. I mean, we communicate well, I think, and it takes a special amount of communication to be able to work with your spouse, because obviously we're in the same office
Tree Service. This is me again.
every day, so we have to communicate, and we can't let things at home come to work, and we can't let things at work go to home to run into each other. But we have a good communication system, and she's very, very good at what I'm very weak at. You know, the administrative part of it, the office, the paperwork, and so I let her do her thing, and she keeps me in line. Communication's huge.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Communication is changed so much, and there's different kinds of communication. There's oral, and just talking to each other and letting each other know what to expect and what needs to be done. Written communication, where she tells me, writes up an estimate for me, or tells me in writing, gives me reports, and then just emails and texts. We do that too. So there's all kinds of different communications communication methods that we use to work with each other. That's a good question. The best advice that I could give is to be honest and be upfront, and figure out what types of communication works best. Sometimes I say things sometimes that say it in a way that's not constructive.
How does that work?
So
oh my gosh.
We try to work out with, like Megan likes words of affirmation. So if she does something good, I say, that's a great job that you did on telling me about this customer, or just the learning the communication styles of the people you're working with, because what works for her may not work for my crew, it may not work for a homeowner. So it's kind of learning and getting a relationship built up with your spouse or with your office manager, whoever you're working with, learning what their communication style is and how to interact in a way that's positive for both people. That's huge. Because it lets you know, like my love language is different from Megan's, but if I communicated to her in a way that I thought that I would want to be communicated with.
Let me find out from Chuck. He's the manager here.
Like my love
the
language
certified arborist, and he does work with people in
quality
lawsuits.
time. So when even if we're not saying a word to each other, spending time together.
And what is your address?
It fills my tank. It makes me feel appreciated and loved. Whereas quality time, it's not her. It's words of affirmation. So if I don't speak words of affirmation to her, if I just sit with her and be quiet, because that's my love language.
Yes, yeah, that's okay.
Then she would think that she wouldn't get the impression that I love her.
Okay.
Or act their gifts or physical touch. Those are all different.
Oh yeah, no. I just want to get that so he knows kind of where this is, and if he'd be willing
gifts
to do
mean
this,
nothing to
or
me. So if she gave me a gift, she
and
might think that she's really telling me she loves me, but it just, it doesn't convey the love. So. If Megan feels appreciated in the office, or even if we're at home, if I tell her that I appreciate her in a way that she can process it and say that's great, that's a great step towards having a working office and even a working home. Same with a customer. I mean, if I let them know that I'm not here just to make a buck off them, if I'm here to make their tree as great as possible with the least amount of money or the least amount of trouble for them. If they think that I have their back, that I'm in the court
really done everything
working for them, then it builds trust and it builds rapport. So
legally you can do what you did.
And that's how you get long-term customers.
Okay. And what is
and
your
they refer
phone number,
people
please?
to their friends, and that's how you build a business. to have strengthening just relationships between you and somebody else. It builds a sense of trust, and it builds a sense of teamwork that you're working together towards a goal.
And how did you find out about our company?
And if you get a bunch of those individuals working together as a team, as a group, they can change a community. Like a small group at church, if they all are in the same agreement and they work together and have a great relationship, they can go out and affect a small area of the community with volunteer work or with whatever skills they have. And that little small area of the community can realize that people care for them, and then they can help out. It's like a ripple effect. They go out and pay it forward essentially, and feel like they're loved, so they're supported to go out and do what their gifts are and help somebody else.
Oh my God.
Everybody benefits. And trees is one way of making the community strong, because we can go out and create a nice park, say, for a community, or make somebody's home nice, and then they'll feel comfortable and safe and confident enough to go out and do something like that for somebody else. So like I say, it's a ripple effect. It's kind of a domino effect, where if you help somebody, they'll either help you or they'll turn around and help somebody else. And if you just encourage everybody to keep doing that, whether it's tree work, whether you're painting houses, whether you're doing dentistry, it doesn't matter. It's if you help somebody, and if you let them feel like you care about them, that empowers them to turn around and do that for somebody else. I think people were made to connect.
Anyway,
we were not made to be
alone.
And I think the more, whether you're in a group of artists, or a group of sports guys, or a group of cheerleaders, or a group of debate people, and I'm talking about a high school setting, or a group of arborists, or a group of people that have a like mind in a church. I think everyone has this longing to be connected to somebody else, to not be alone. And I think that goes back to our beginning. But I think once you find a place where you belong, where you can actually use the gifts that you have, whether it's answering phones, whether it's fixing trees, whether it's cleaning someone's teeth, if you can use that gift to benefit someone else, that gives you a feeling of accomplishment and a feeling of satisfying the gift that you were given. And that helps. Again, it helps the person you're doing it with, but it also helps yourself. So in a school setting, just knowing that you're all in the same school is a good start to be able to connect with each other.
Absolutely, it just spills over. So yes, absolutely. Yeah, whether you're dealing with a husband, a boss, workers, family, friends, I think, just it's great to understand how other people work, to try and, just be a good person and to help others and to make others feel loved. So I think, like Chuck said, I think it's just the way we're wired. We're meant to be connected. We're not meant to be alone. And I just think that I feel like I have a purpose, and I fulfill a purpose when I'm using my gifts and what I'm good at for the benefit of others. So just to do something for somebody else, I think that completes your joy, when you use your gift for somebody. I know this always, like in our church setting, if you feel disconnected, whether it be a church or wherever, but if you just go volunteer and go do something for somebody, that is such a great way to not only feel good for doing something for somebody, but also to get to know people, and they get to know you. So, yes. Exactly, and I think if you are with other people that are on the same mission or same purpose or task or whatever, I think that just brings people together, because they're operating as a team, they're just working together for the benefit. Oh, A few times, yes, and usually they come to understand that they're upset over something that may or may not have happened, or they perceived it a way that it wasn't meant. But what I do is, and it's easy in my position because I'm in the office, and so I wasn't out in the field or whatever that may have caused them to be upset. So they realize that I'm not the one that they're bad at, but I usually just try to be calm and to ask questions, why they're upset, what happened, and then for them to know that I will pass on the information to Chuck, who's the manager here, and also communicate to them that this is important. It's important to them. It is important to us. You know, we're a company that wants to be known for good service, and we want a good reputation. We want to do what's right, and we would never, we just want to do the right thing. So just knowing that I'll take it to Chuck, that we'll get it addressed right away, and then making sure that Chuck does follow through and address the problem and get a result one way or another. Whether it's to go look at a tree that they might not think had been trimmed right or not enough or whatever, I'll tell them that Chuck will be by to take a look at it and be in contact with them. So.
It almost always falls back to 90% of the reason people call in is a communication issue. Either I didn't communicate with them what we did, or my crew didn't communicate with me what happened, or something in some breakdown of communication happened to where they had an expectation that we didn't meet. So that's why when we talked about communication earlier, communication is huge in a business, because if you let your client know up front what you're willing to do and what they can expect from your service or your product, if you let them know up front what to expect and then you deliver or exceed that expectation, they will be a customer that'll come back to your service because that's very rare these days. So communication is huge, and not just between a husband and wife or boss and secretary, but between potential client. And the whole process is that Megan has to interpret what they want from their phone call. She has to communicate that to me. I go out and assess from her description what they want. Then I interpret what they want as far as what services they need. I explain what services I think they need, and I try to explain in a way that they understand exactly what the process is going to be. And then they interpret that, and then they inspect our work according to what my communication to them was. So there's a whole big network of communication that gets handled from the time she gets the phone call until the time the crew leaves the property, as far as what they expect and what the end product is. Respect for me is showing someone that I think that I value them and their opinion, whether I agree with it or not. There's some people that I disagree with, but I still respect them because I value their input and I value them as a person. But you may not agree with the way they think, their ideology, the way they communicate. But as long as you respect them as a person and show them that you think that they're worth listening to, that you like them enough to give them your attention.
And not even whether you like a person or not. I think that we as people need to respect each other. Just treat somebody the way that you want to be treated. Whether, like you said, whether you agree or not with them. And of course, on the flip side of that, you want them to do the same for you too.